All right, what's going on, guys? Bowman's back again. You know that means we got another Bilstein update. If you guys weren't aware, we've been offering an assembly service for a while now, particularly on Bilstein 6112. If you've ever looked them up, they come as standard from Bilstein as just a strut and a spring. It's up to you to compress that spring and put it on with all your OEM hardware and top mounts, all that stuff. We've been making it easier for a lot of you guys by having them assembled for a bunch of different applications so that you can bolt them right in. If you're doing it yourself at home, this is definitely the way to go. Any chance you can avoid a spring compressor, do it. It's worth every penny. But today, we're back with an update on 4, technically 5 applications we can now assemble for you guys, and I think a lot of these are long awaited for. So to start off, the first application, and one that needs a whole lot of love right now, is the 2008 to 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser, you LC200 series guys. For a long time, Bilstein has had 6112s. We haven't been able to assemble them because top mounts have been hard to get to. The biggest thing with these is they're adjustable from 1 inch of lift to 3 inches of a lift. That's gonna give you a pretty big range. There's a total of 6 settings, so it makes it real easy to figure out how you want it. Again, when we assemble it to you, we send it to you at the setting you want, so you can get up to 3 inches of lift with these, and that's more than most applications, which is really nice. And a lot of people are looking for that 3-inch lift mark on a lot of their applications. They're kind of trying to push it a little harder. You know, if the typical 285s or 33s aren't for you, the people trying to go a little bit bigger on tire or go a little bit harder off-road are looking for something that does 3 inches of lift or has the travel available to work well at 3 inches of lift, even if they're not going to go up to that height. The second application, and one that we've been getting asked to assemble for the longest time, we can get you 2015 to 2022 Colorado guys. This doesn't include ZR2s, the suspension's vastly different on those models, but if you have a Z71 or any other package, 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, we can get you set up. Bilstein uses the same part number for 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive models, as well as standard V6 and diesel models. So there are some different circlip settings and options for that. On the V6 4-wheel drives, you're looking at lowest, you're gonna get about 0.6 or about half an inch of lift, up to 2 3/4 inches of lift. If it's a 2-wheel drive V6, you're looking at 0.3 to 2 inches of lift. They don't recommend going to the setting at the very top for your application, which is common for a lot of vehicles. And then if you have a 2.8 liter diesel, you can't use the lower settings, but you can go from stock to 1.5 inches of lift. So regardless of engine options or packages or anything like that, they have you covered. Just like a lot of mid-sized trucks, these are prone to lean. You've probably heard of Tacoma lean. So on these, Bilstein has already figured that out. You need to offset the circlip settings 2 positions higher on the driver's side. You Tacoma guys, you 4Runner guys without KDSS, and some of the FJs and GXs will be fairly familiar with this. Kind of hard to package a vehicle so that the weight is even on both sides. So a lot of times on lift springs, they'll give you 2 different springs per side, or in the case of the 6112s, they offset it with preload. That way you can get away with getting something that has a circlip adjustable body, and you don't have to fight it or fake getting it level on both sides with shims or spacers. Makes it a whole bunch easier. Another application that we're getting done for you guys, and we're able to get it going fairly quick since the mounts are very similar to the previous generation, is the 2019 plus Ram 1500s. That's your DTs, so non-classics. We can assemble those. Bilstein only has V8 settings right now. We're not sure that they're gonna have a diesel model, eco diesel specific strut, or they're gonna give us different circlip settings for it, but these will work on your standard 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, with or without the off-road or Rebel package. So they'll fit on everything. If you have a V8 with 4-wheel drive, you're looking at adjustability from stock height to 2.6 inches of lift with 8 total settings. If it's 2-wheel drive, you're looking at 0.6 inches of lift to 2.6. They limit you from the top setting, similar to the previous parts we were talking about. And then on the Rebels, if it's 4-wheel drive, you can go from stock height up to 2 inches of lift over stock Rebel height. As you know, if you have the Rebel or the off-road package, they already come just under 1 inch taller from the factory. On the 2-wheel drives, if it has the off-road package or Rebel, which I know are a relatively rare truck, are adjustable from stock to the same 2 inches of lift. They limit you from the top setting, just like on the other ones. And on the 4-wheel drive Rebels, they don't want you using the lower settings because obviously it's gonna lower the front end from how it was from stock. But these trucks have been really popular. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to get these assembled. It's not that your stock top mounts aren't still good for use, but I don't know a single person besides our boy Don and Gary who assemble these that are happy dealing with a spring compressor. The last application or applications is gonna be your 2019 to current model GM 1500. We have parts for both regular 1500s and what our boy Don here is working on is the Trail Boss. As you guys know, or if you have Trail Bosses, you know, the Trail Boss and AT4 sit 2 inches higher out of the box, just straight from Chevy and GMC. So they get a different part number. These regular 6112s are adjustable from about stock to 2.5 inches of lift depending on application. But these are adjustable from stock Trail Boss height, or 2 inches of lift over a regular 4-wheel drive, up to 1.2 inches of lift. How they do it, it's a little bit longer overall, and the circlet positions are a little bit higher. They also use a slightly larger body, which reduces upward suspension travel a little bit. So they're longer for more droop, less bump, which is great for larger tires. A lot of people have been asking, and I'm here to tell you, if you run an aftermarket upper control arm, you can run these Trail Boss parts on your regular 1500 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. They're a great option if you're looking for 2 inches of lift to 3.2 inches of lift. You don't mind only having a little bit of settings and you can't go back to stock height. And they're also great since they limit upward suspension travel a little bit. They're a good option to keep you those big tires out of those fenders from tearing up the nice bodywork. If you guys have any questions about these, anything else, or you want a set of assembled 6112s for yourself, shocksurplus.com is your place.